The project is about a young woman that's a sex addict and her relationship with her therapist. Yeah, I started when I was about nine or 10. We would do these little independent movies, independent films at the Al Davies Boys and Girls Club in Tacoma. Most of us, we didn't know what we were doing, but there was something about it, something about that made me fall in love with that. And also Independence Day with Will Smith.
Yeah.
That made me love acting. I wanted to make people feel the way that I felt after leaving the movie theater, watching his performance in that. I was sold by then. I took a hiatus until about 18 actually. And then I started John Casablanca's in Seattle modeling agency on and off until really 3 years ago. When I got an agent officially, Big Fish Talent Northwest. And then work has been coming in more frequently. Future plans, I love writing and being in what I wrote. I want to do a show. We're going to do a comedy series actually. It's going to be called When to Use the N-Word. And it's just going to be subtle things that us people of color deal with. Because I feel like films now show the extremes where there's yelling this and doing that, and we don't really deal with that on a normal basis, daily basis. So I wanted to show the subtleties and make light of it in a comedic way. I never really have foresight as far as to what I want people to feel specifically. I just want people to feel. I want people to think about different things. I want to take them on a journey and then let them make their interpretations, let them do whatever they want to afterwards. I look forward to this scene in Dr. Rafal's office where the Jade character is telling him about her past experiences and just that emotional roller coaster. Dealing with that whole scene, I think, is going to be pretty powerful. Her audition just blew us all away, and there was no. There was no coming back after that. We were set.
I think someone who appreciates and respects both a person who's coming from trauma and who can't control their own response to that, and someone who appreciates a complex character with complex ideas that's multifaceted and does dark things, and sometimes you can understand why the ends justify the means, and sometimes you can't.
That's a good question. That is initially what drove me to write it. It was something. So the script started off as a kind of a situation where a husband and a wife would invite people over for their wife to have sexual encounters, and then the husband would end up killing the people. It ended up changing because I just was more interested in diving into what made the woman want to do that in the first place, and just taking people on a roller coaster, taking people on a twist. There's going to be twists and turns in it. So.
Well, I have never killed anyone on record, so different in that way. I think that some of the similar. One of the things that drew me to this character is recognizing that she has been through indescribable pain.
Yeah.
And everybody in their life can probably point to a time where they've experienced trauma or pain. So I think, without saying too much, I think to some degree, I relate to her in that way. And sometimes we don't mean to do the things that we do as a response to our own trauma and pain. And yeah, the main difference, I think, is just that kind of going over the edge.
Yeah.
And not being able to hold back from those dark thoughts.
Yeah. It's dark. You're diving into the mind of someone who's not stable, really, and I think a lot of the thoughts can be relatable to people. I mean, because we all have those dark thoughts. We all have some dark thoughts, and the difference is who actually goes out and commits the act, and this is putting that in like what happens when someone commits the act, and so it's crazy.
I love that she is unapologetic in who she is, and is willing to accept the things about her and her past. And I also love, just from, not from a character perspective, but from a screenplay and writing perspective, that she is multifaceted. Because I think so often we get these female characters in film that are these one-dimensional, monolithic entities, and that gets pretty boring to watch after a while. So in spite of the fact that she's dark, which I do kind of like the darkness, a little bit of that, I like that she's multifaceted.
The overall feeling is a feeling of power. It's really power that she's feeling. She's taking over. That's what she's doing it for. She was damaged, she was hurt, and she's getting her revenge.
It's always easier to play a character, but I think that all characters and all good actors are rooted in reality. All good acting is rooted in reality. So that's kind of a yes and question, or a yes and answer to your question. I think that it's easier to play a character as long as you're also coming from a place of honesty. It's like living in the moment and with that character's given and experience in the given situation. Probably navigating the intimacy and navigating kind of her own complicated relationship with that, and tapping into something dark. Because that's part of what makes it so much fun and so interesting. And that's also really challenging to kind of figure out how to get into that character's head without, going too far. Besides myself. Ooh, thank you. I think that somebody like Tessa Thompson would be good at this kind of thing. She's got like the ability to do that kind of very dark thing and still bring it around to a place of reality. Or Jenny Slate, because I love everything she does all the time, and she doesn't ever go dark very often. Yeah. Right now, I'm looking at launching my own production company. Last summer, I got to produce my own film, write and produce and act in my first film ever, and that it kind of.
Can we find that?
You can, yeah. It's on madelinefigueroa.com. The film is called Zed to Dead. And hopefully more projects like that. You can follow me on Instagram at madfigz for updates on more projects, and honestly just doing as much writing and as much performing and as much creating as possible, which is a very vague general thing because vaguely I'm generally trying to do it.
Future projects, you can expect comedy. I love diving into comedy. I'm not a comedian. I'm better at writing it. I'm not good at I'm good at improv, but I don't know. I don't have the passion for that. I have passion for writing. I have passion for acting. Comedy, shining a light on that and being on stage and trying to do that is just not, I'm not passionate about that.
Hey, y'all ain't superstars. There you go. Hey! He's dead, but he's gonna keep dancing. Doesn't even matter, it's all romancing. That's whoa, hey, hey!